Hello everybody and welcome to a brand new Zoo Tycoon scenario Let's Play, and today it is the Dinosaur Digs very advanced scenario, Return to Dinosaur Island Research Lab. So yeah, there was only one advanced Dinosaur Digs scenario, and this is the first of the very advanced Dinosaur Digs scenarios, and it's the exact same map. It's Dinosaur Island Research Lab, except it's the Return. The government of Argentina has come to you up in arms. Without your guidance, the dinosaurs have all escaped. Yeah, so basically I spent all that effort and time building a zoo over the course of 3 years, and all the dinosaurs have somehow managed to escape, and everything's gone very wrong very quickly, it seems. They now roam freely about the island, and no one is brave enough to visit the zoo now. Can you blame them? Argentina kindly requests that you return to Dinosaur Island and save them from financial ruin. Since the dinosaurs are loose on the island, your first task will be to contain all 9 dinosaurs in suitable exhibits. Once that is done, it will be safe to place paths, so that guests will come to the exhibits. By the end of the 3 years, you should have 12 suitable dinosaur exhibits. Yeah, so can you believe that we only have, including this one, 5 scenarios left in the game? And also this is actually the last scenario in the entire game with a deadline. So the final 4 scenarios don't have deadlines, which means I can basically just play until I win the scenario, and then that'll be that. And I don't have to cut the video short before I win the scenario, and it makes it a lot more interesting. This one, of course, has a 36-month deadline, within which we have to achieve a zoo rating of 85, that's dead straightforward, guest happiness of 90, still easy, contain all dinosaurs in suitable exhibits, and whatever that entails exactly, I'm not sure, and earn an exhibit suitability rating of at least 90 for 12 dinosaur exhibits. Doesn't sound too difficult, but we'll see. So, as you can see, we start with $150,000, although I'm going to destroy a load of trees and scenery. I'm also going to destroy some of this, but not all of it, because I do want to keep things that don't actually give you any money, like the trucks and the trailers and stuff like that. I mean, there's no point destroying them, besides, you know, you could say, like, well, they're getting away. But, I mean, it's easier to destroy them, but they don't give you any money for destroying them, so I'm going to keep them there, just a bit of scenery. Anyway, did I accidentally... No, I didn't destroy something accidentally there. So yeah, we start with 150,000 by default. We're going to start with a bit more than that. And as you can see, there are various dinosaurs scattered about the map, not contained in exhibits. If we leave them there, then the big ones will probably eat and kill, or kill and eat, the small ones. So obviously we don't want that. We also have a zoo rating of 9, somehow. Animal happiness of 68. How the zoo rating is not just 0, I don't quite understand. But, obviously things are not good. But we do start with a lot of money, so that's good. So yeah, once I finish destroying everything here... No, I'll leave the tent. Then we can basically pick up the dinosaurs and just put them in their crates, which should stop them from roaming around the map freely. Yeah, you don't get any money for destroying any of this. So yeah, this can all just stay here. Right. What I am going to do, though, first and foremost, is build a compost building, as always. So we can't build Marine Mania, we can build Zoo Tycoon, and we can build Dinosaur Digs. Zoo Tycoon scenery seems to generally be better than Dinosaur Digs scenery, in terms of raising the guest happiness, and also Dinosaur Digs scenery is generally very expensive for what you get. So we're basically just going to use Zoo Tycoon scenery. I will save the game, meanwhile, as Return to Dinosaur Island Research Lab, assuming that fits, which it does. Brilliant. And, okay, so let's actually look at the animals that we get. So we have 9 animals, or dinosaurs. We have an Allosaurus. We have an Ankylosaurus. We have an Apatosaurus. Might be an idea, actually, to put all these together by the entrance. We have a Caudipteryx. Notice that we only actually have one of every dinosaur, and they are actually all male, which is interesting. Yeah, so Allosaurus, Ankylosaurus, Apatosaurus, Caudipteryx, Coelophysis, I think that's how you pronounce it, Herrerasaurus, Lambiosaurus, and Spinosaurus, and a Velociraptor. Okay, so of the 9 dinosaurs, obviously the Allosaurus will need either the pit method, where you basically lower the entire exhibit and then you can just use any fencing you want, and if it breaks it's not a problem. It's more expensive initially, but it does save a lot of trouble later on. The Spinosaurus will also require the same idea, but the rest of the dinosaurs we can basically get away with not using electric fencing. Possible exception of the Apatosaurus, because the Apatosaurus is actually the strongest animal in the game, but it's also very slow and very docile. We might need electric fencing for that. We might be able to get away with not electric fencing. Caudipteryx is interesting because you can actually just use Tycoon fencing. But yeah, I'm going to save the game once again. I'm going to unpause the game now, and the game can officially run. So yeah, we start with just short of $189,000, although I'm going to need to flatten some terrain. Probably a better idea to lower the terrain around the entrance to fit it around. Yeah, so it's more like that. And yeah, we can't build paths. For some reason. Quite annoying, but what can you do? Weirdly, we can adopt animals, but we can't build paths. Yeah, don't know why. But anyway, we're going to want to build our first exhibit, which will be the Caudipteryx. Which, like I said, we can basically just use Zoo Tycoon fencing. So that makes it a lot cheaper. And also, it is quite attractive with guests. So, Caudipteryx, we basically just want a... Because we can actually adopt animals, the Caudipteryx can jump, but it has no strength, so we can basically just use this bog standard fencing. And we're going to want a 10 by 10 exhibit, which we can build like over here, I reckon. Yeah, that will work. So that is 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Yep, that's fine. Yeah, not having paths is annoying, but it will work. And because we're going to adopt animals, we can put in 2 males and 2 female Caudipteryx in here. Where is Caudipteryx? There he is. Okay. So, I'm not going to put in the Caudipteryx just yet, because if I put it in right now, then it's just going to be really unhappy. I have no idea what the terrain requirements are. Rainforest, freshwater, grass, so that dirt was not really needed then. Okay. So, something like that, and then just put the animal in, and... Because if you put it in straight away, then obviously, you know, the suitability would be really low. So, something like that. I mean, the suitability isn't very high anyway, but... The thing about the Caudipteryx is that, like I said, you can use the Zoo Tycoon fencing because it's got no strength, but it can jump, so you can't use low fencing. But right, so guests are actually coming in. which is fine. We need to raise this to $29 though. There you go. Yeah, so we can't build paths, which is very annoying, but that doesn't mean that we can't build exhibits, and guests do still come in nonetheless. Do we need a shelter? No, it doesn't, but we need trees, Williamsona, and it wants a mate, and we're also going to need a scientist to look after the animals and look after the eggs. Right, so annoyingly, that is only 97 suitability. And I just realised that this guide is actually telling me to use bushes, not these big trees. So I could have actually saved myself some money there. Oh well. Although these are very expensive, they will allow me to get 100 suitability, which gives me the gold plaque, which is 99 suitability or more for one particular exhibit, which is a 15,000 bonus. So there you go. That is 99 suitability right there. Right, let's save the game. So yeah, we can't build paths, but we can build buildings, and the guests should still theoretically go to them. So we can build a gift shop, we can build a cinema. We are going to have to move some dinosaurs out of the way. Yeah, so never mind the screaming dinosaurs in the cages, this zoo is perfectly safe for guests to visit. Game logic. Although, you can't actually get to the cinema because there is too much water in the way. So we're going to need to do something like that. Actually, we could even, yeah, make more sense to just use asphalt because that's cheaper. There you go. And now guests can go over to the gift shop, which will charge $10 for, and the cinema, which will charge $8.50 for. Right. Yeah, so the zoo's going to look very weird until we actually get some paths going. Obviously, the guest happiness, not great. We don't have any paths. Zoo rating, not great, because it started on 9. We only have one exhibit, and animal happiness, not great, because we have got a load of animals in the crates. So next up, we can do the... what should we do next, actually? Maybe the Coelophysis. Which we can just get away with one Coelophysis in a 10x10 exhibit. Which we can build, like, here-ish. Yeah, not being able to build paths means it's quite an annoyance. Why can I not build any fencing there? Is it because it's too close to the... Probably too close to the Apatosaurus, actually, isn't it? Right. Yeah, the Apatosaurus is so big that... I actually couldn't build a... Yeah, you see how big this actually is? Like, I actually can't put it down there because it's... There's a dinosaur in the way. Anyway. So, obviously... Put some asphalt down there. Yeah, so even without paths, guests are still using, you know, the gift shop and the cinema. Even if they aren't actually profitable right now. We do, however, need a restaurant. Which I can't put down where I want because there's too many guests in the way. So I'll just put it down over here. And carousel. Elephant ride. Petting zoo. Where can I put the petting zoo? Petting zoo can go over there, and Japanese garden there. Change the colour of these, change the price of these as well. And there you go. So the Coelophysis can go in here. We only need one. We will save the game. I hope I don't have to exhibit all of these dinosaurs before I can put in paths, because otherwise this zoo is going to be a bit odd and very difficult and annoying to build. But anyway, Coelophysis, plonk in there. And I just realised it doesn't like coniferous because it's a rainforest dinosaur. Right. Oh, shit. Shoot. I didn't mean to do that. Never mind. Could have saved myself a bit of money because I accidentally paid for a load of rainforest terrain I didn't want. Okay, there you go. So we're going to need the rocks, and then tiny little bit of foliage, presumably. Thesaurus sisad tree, apparently. Although, according to this, I can actually get away with this. Because the Thesaurus sisad, I think you've got to research. Whereas this, you do not. And I think I might have accidentally created an island? No, maybe not. It's alright, I think we're alright. Not enough shelters and they want a mate, so we can't get the mate because we would have to research it, so that will have to wait a little bit. But that is 99 suitability. Anyway, let's just save the game. Right, we can finally build some paths. Excellent. Yeah, so that means that contain all dinosaurs in suitable exhibits basically just means that you need 2 decent exhibits. Which is a bit of a weird requirement, but it does mean that I can build paths now. So this scenario just got a lot easier. Because not being able to build paths was very annoying. It has to be said. And now that I can build paths, I can do stuff like this. Although it is interesting that guests can still get around without paths, so that is good to know for the future, I suppose. Whoops, not that. And I know I say this a lot, but it's annoying that there's not more 3x3 scenery in this game. Although I suppose there is the bone bed, which I just used. Okay, I'm going to hide everything temporarily. Actually, show the buildings, that's what I wanted to do. So, may as well put foliage back in. Yeah, I just wanted to hide the guests so I can actually sort of see what I'm doing. And now put them back in. Right. put something in here, seeing as we've got quite a large gap, although an animal theatre doesn't fit. Animatronic theatre does actually fit there, so put that in there. Oh, I forgot to mention that in the breeding giant pandas scenario, obviously we've won it. Basically, nothing happened after I finished recording. I think we got a baby lowland gorilla, which gave us $10,000. A couple of animals died of old age. Few animals had babies. Few babies grew up into adults, had to be sold off. I hired a few more maintenance workers and zookeepers, but didn't build any actual exhibits. So nothing really of note that was worth recording actually happened. So yeah, I was basically right to cut it off because it would have been like an extra half hour, and you know, 4 months in game time. There was no point recording all that. I feel like I'm missing a building something. I know I'm missing the animal theatre. I can't remember if I raised the price of this or not. No, I don't think I did. Yeah, I feel like I'm missing something. I know there's the animal theatre, which we can put in here. We've already got a petting zoo, that's over here somewhere. Yeah, it's there. I think that's $7. Put in a little bit of path. There's nothing else I'm missing though, is there? I suppose I could get the stego pot, but as I've stated before, it's generally not worth it because it barely makes any money. Getting a lot of vomiting guests for some strange reason. Right, so this scientist can just look after these two exhibits for now. It's a bit of a trek, but it's nothing that he can't handle. To get from there to there, I suppose. Might be an idea to get a maintenance worker, but I guess that can wait. Save the game again. Okay, let's lower this, or flatten that terrain around there. Actually, how big is this map? Because I need 12 exhibits. It's actually pretty big. It's big enough. Okay. I was just thinking that 12 dinosaur exhibits will take up a lot of room, so I wasn't sure how big the map actually was, but it turns out it's big enough. Okay, just lower some terrain around here. And then we can put in another exhibit. Put some path in around here. I can always delete it later, obviously. Okay, save the game again. So, we can go for the Lambiosaurus. Actually, let's go for the Herrerasaurus, because I think that can live on its own. Yeah, and that needs a 100 square exhibit if you build it for 2, or for 1. Actually, one thing I did consider, if the Coelophysis wants a mate, then obviously that exhibit isn't going to be big enough. I'll have to fix that later. We can get a Herrerasaurus, so it might be an idea to actually build a... I just realised that is... yeah, that's cheaper. So, let's build a 20 by 10 exhibit. So that is 10. I'm going to need to make it bigger then, aren't I? I need 4,500, which is there, so this is going to need to be destroyed, as is this, and then this is going to need to be flattened around here. Right. Okay, so this is Herrerasaurus exhibit. We can get a female Herrerasaurus. And another... they don't want a shelter, that's interesting. More path here, and we're going to need another scientist. And this is going to need to be rainforest. With a bit of grass and dirt, I'm guessing. Not dirt, fresh water. Right, okay, so that's apparently fine. It might need fine-tuning later on, but it's fine for now. And then for trees, we can just use fern bushes, I suppose they might work, or actually, let's just use these. Same as the Coelophysis exhibit. Yeah, Herrerasaurus and Coelophysis have very similar exhibit requirements. Apparently they can actually exist in the same exhibit with reasonable suitability, but you've got to be very careful because they will eat each other's eggs. Herrerasaurus apparently eat Coelophysis eggs, Coelophysis apparently eat Herrerasaurus eggs. Which is obviously not ideal. So I wouldn't recommend putting them together, I'm just saying apparently you can. But I still wouldn't personally try it myself. Kind of wanted 99 suitability there, but... And there you go. Excellence in design. Dinosaur exhibit designed gold cup for exhibiting at least 3 dinosaurs in suitable exhibits. Presumably that's like 3 different... Yeah, 3 dinosaurs or 3 different types or something. With 99 suitability. Caudipteryxes have given birth. The naming is going to be all screwed up because... you know, these dinosaurs are just called Herrerasaurus, Coelophysis, Caudipteryx, and then the next one I adopt is like Caudipteryx 1. So, yeah, the name is going to be a bit screwed up, but who cares? Right, and then we could put in a Spinosaurus, because we could probably put that in on its own, or maybe an Allosaurus. And then that will need to be a 20 by 10 exhibit. Is that big enough there? No. Okay. So if I move these dinosaurs... Okay. Might be an idea to actually make this exhibit bigger and then I can put in a Coelophysis mate. So let's do that. We'll just use this exhibit fencing for now. So I am basically going to have to build another exhibit like this. Not a problem, I suppose. Just make the exact same exhibit twice. Okay, so don't need any dirt, but we do need a bit of grass and a bit of fresh water. And a couple of rocks and a couple of trees. Then we hide everything and then simply merge the exhibits together. Like that. And then unhide everything. and that is 98 suitability. So then we put in a female Coelophysis when we can, which obviously we can't right now because we need to exhibit it or research it. Get rid of all these, which we definitely won't need. Won't need T-Rex kegs, I'm not doing T-Rex. Could make a start on this, I suppose. Although I don't want to run out of money, and it's not urgent. Scientist training I will get, though. And dinosaur care I will get. So that is 99 suitability, that's great. Perfect. Righty-ho. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 6 more exhibits to go. Plus, we also actually need 3 exhibits of our own. Which, interestingly, I was going to say that can be any exhibit, but no, they have to be dinosaurs. That's fair. Right, Lambiosaurus, I know obviously is a very docile lizard. Well, I suppose it is a lizard. It's a gentle herbivore, so it's not aggressive at all. We are going to need, however, an 18 by 10 exhibit for 3 of them. Assuming that we can actually... Yeah, we don't need to research them. Whether we can get away with male and 2 females, I don't actually know. Hopefully that's okay. But yeah, 18 by 10. And I've done it once again. Yeah, we want this one. So, that is... That's 10. So, 8 is 1800. So we want 1800 plus 2250. Which is 4050. There you go. And then 2250, yep, there you go. That's 18 by 10, and that is Lambiosaurus exhibit. Brilliant. Did I ever get that second scientist? Yes, I did. He's not assigned to anything, though, right now. Caudipteryx and Coelophysis. And this guy can be assigned to that. This guy probably needs to go over to the Coelophysis exhibit. Nope, he's apparently monitoring the zoo, so let's send him over to the Caudipteryx, where he's cleaning the poo. This guy is cleaning poo. He's assigned to the Herrerasaurus. What is he doing cleaning poo over there? I don't know. Okay, so... yeah, this has now hatched. Interestingly, the Herrerasaurus doesn't want a mate, so maybe we've actually been okay with just the one Herrerasaurus, but the Coelophysis still wants a mate, so it will be a while before we get that. I'm thinking, though, let's spend some money researching this stuff. Hopefully we get the Coelophysis relatively quickly. So this is Lambiosaurus. We are probably going to need more scenery at some point as well, because the zoo at the moment is looking a bit just sort of like exhibits everywhere with not much scenery. Okay, we've got all the amenities over there, and I do realise that we've still got more dinosaurs to build, but yeah, maybe we should start building some scenery or something. It's quite annoying that there's so much water and river on this map. But hey ho, it is a very advanced scenario, I suppose. Let's just make some of this. Make it asphalt. I'm half tempted to put in a stegopod. Yeah, go on then, we'll put a stegopod in. We'll charge $11 for it. Put in a little bit of path over here. And I am going to have to move the entrances. Oh, there you go. Seal the thesis next. Will be done in 7 days. So once that's done, we can stop researching in genetic research because we don't need any more animals after that. Yeah, I need to move the entrance to over here so it's closer. Alright, let's get the Lambeosaurus, which is actually a coniferous animal. Let's get 2 female Lambeosauruses and assign this guy to the Lambeosauruses. Right, these guys probably do want a shelter, but we'll do that later. For now, let's put in some coniferous terrain. Whoops. That's fine. And they also want grass and fresh water, that's fine. No dirt, no deciduous, which is interesting. Don't like how I've done that. Yeah, Coelophysis is now available, so we can stop researching into being able to adopt more animals in genetic research. That's fine. Get rid of that, or don't get rid of that, but where is the Lambeosaurus? Lambeosaurus 1, Lambeosaurus 2, there he is. Right. Okay, so shelter? Nope, no shelter. Rocks and trees, though. I won't say that we're low on funds, but obviously we have spent a lot of money, and we do have 176 guests. I'm wondering if we could possibly raise the admission price to 49. Probably just get away with using this instead of $29. Well, we'll get the Plesiosaurus and then we'll stop. Because Plesiosaurus actually is a good dinosaur. It's, right, so now we can stop doing that. Yeah, Kentrosaurus is not popular with guests for some reason. Right, so he's saying it's well suited. Only 94 suitability. I'm probably putting more trees. Yeah. There's more trees to increase the suitability. Right, that's 99 suitability, that's fine. So this scientist is now dealing with the Herrerasaurus and the Lambeosaurus, which is great because they're right next to each other. And then the other scientist is dealing with Coelophysis and Caudipteryx, which are close enough to each other. Brilliant! Actually, we could maybe research dinosaur houses. Not strictly necessary, but they're always quite nice. Right, let's put in some scenery. Let's get the duck pond. And elephant fountain. And then we'll put in Bighorn statue over here. And an obelisk. And we'll get some more path going over here. And here. And here. And then the zoo just looks a bit nicer. Just a bit more scenery. So guest happiness is actually 91. If we can get it to 95, then obviously we get an extra $25,000. Yeah, I don't think these objectives are going to be too difficult, bearing in mind we've got 3 years to build 12 exhibits, and we already have 4. The main issue obviously is going to be money, so we are going to need to make quite a lot of money. How many admissions are we getting? No, let's keep it at 29 for now, because you know the zoo rating's not that high, we're not getting that many admissions. Let's get a premature... Well, actually I don't need a maintenance worker just yet. Once the fences start to deteriorate, then we can hire maintenance workers. One maintenance worker right now is going to be pointless, because he's not going to have anything to do. Whereas later on, once the fences start deteriorating, then we can get like 5 or 6 maintenance workers and they'll actually have stuff to do. It's better to get 5 or 6 later on than it is to get like 1 now. Pteranodon house is now available. Can I... How big is it? Oh yeah, that's pretty big. Lepospondyle house is actually quite small, but I've got a feeling it's probably still going to be 5 squares wide, so... I can put it down there, just might have to do some rejiggering. It'll be done in 9 days. So... Right, so... Obviously we're going to need more exhibits. Apatosaurus, Ankylosaurus, Spinosaurus, Allosaurus. Right, Velociraptors. Yeah, if you just have 2 Velociraptors, that's a 16 by 10 exhibit. Okay. So I might have to lower some of this giant mountain. And also I'm going to have to move the Apatosaurus. Put him there for now. I've done it again. I want that one. Right, that's 10 squares, so... That's 10 squares. So I said 16, didn't I? I did. So that is 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. There you go. And then I'm going to need to move this Apatosaurus again. He is absolutely massive. Right, so this is Velociraptor exhibit. And I think that after this is built, it might be an idea to save up some cash, depending on how much money we have left over, I suppose. Right, so we don't need to research these just yet. Can I put a Lepospondyle house? No, I can't. I can't put it there, but I can destroy this path and build it over here instead. And once these guests disappear out the way, aided by the assistance of pause and move, then I can put a Lepospondyle house down. Come on, you. Come on. There we go. Yeah. That's really good. Yeah, and that doesn't cost anything to upkeep. It doesn't give much in the way of guest happiness, but it gives a little bit and it's free to upkeep. We can upgrade it later on, but right now it's not exactly essential. What is essential is that I lower or flatten this surrounding terrain. There you go. Not like that. Right. 4, 5 exhibits, so I'm going to need another scientist, that's fine. So this scientist can look after the Velociraptors only. Yeah, that's fine. That's fine. And yeah, this guy looks after the velociraptors, that's fine. Brilliant. So yeah, things are coming together. This is very good. Yeah, it's starting to look a bit like a zoo now. Admittedly, we still don't have loads and loads of scenery. We only have one person who's actually gone into here. Yeah, Segaput's making a very small profit, but a profit nonetheless. Not bad considering we only have 237 guests in the zoo. 3 benefactors. Probably alright after I build this exhibit to increase the admission cost to $49 maybe. But Velociraptors, yeah, they want coniferous, grass and fresh water. And they also want Dawn Redwood tree, which we probably can't get right now. No, so we're just going to make do with Walchian conifer tree. Anyway, coniferous, grass and fresh water, I believe I said. Yeah, it's like a very sort of typical dinosaur requirement. Basically the same as a Lambeosaurus. Although you wouldn't want to put a Lambeosaurus in with a Velociraptor. That's definitely not a good idea. Coniferous, grass. Probably too much grass. Don't want dirt. And a bit of fresh water. So something like that. A couple of rocks. That'll do. And trees. And we are going to need a little shelter for the Velociraptor. I do remember that. Yeah, dinosaur burrow. And this is a male Velociraptor, so we're going to need a female Velociraptor. Oh, actually, that's a point. We're going to need to research the Velociraptor. And also may as well research the Ankylosaurus. We don't need to research Spinosaurus or Apatosaurus because we can get away with just one of those in each exhibit. Too much fresh water, not enough coniferous, too much grass. Okay. So he's saying it's well suited, even though it's only 87 suitability. And interestingly, the Velociraptor actually seems perfectly content with only one Velociraptor in the exhibit, so it's not strictly necessary I get another Velociraptor, but we may as well. Oh right, yeah, people are actually going to the Lepospondyle house now. Let's stop researching that. Let's actually, yeah, let's get some stuff for this. I want the Pteranodon house, but I don't know where to put it down, actually. Maybe actually just put it over here. Will require flattening a bit of land, but that's no problem. And yeah, I am quite low on money. I probably don't have enough money to build another dinosaur exhibit, unfortunately. Right, brilliant. So, we are probably going to have to save a bit of money up, but we can raise this up to $49. Velociraptor can't find any food. Well, that's because I forgot to assign this dinosaur to this exhibit. Yeah, getting a lot of visitors to that. No visitors to this so far, but they'll arrive in time. They'll visit. Japanese gardens obviously getting a lot of visitors. All these buildings are making good profit, to be expected. And the Stegopod's making a very small profit. Petting Zoo getting some good visitors. Actually, the Coelophysis, didn't we research that? Yeah. So we can get a female Coelophysis. Don't know how long dinosaurs live. I think we've actually finished with scientist training, because I don't think there is a scientist training 3, is there? Guess we can find out. Oh, there is! Yeah, scientists will be able to walk faster. It takes 30 days though. Let's just get the reduced dinosaur food costs, I suppose. And then carry on with how we were. What was that just became available? Oh! Yeah. This. And yeah, we are getting people going to this now. Very good. Guest happiness 92, animal happiness 89. Yeah, that's just because, you know, we've still got these 4 dinosaurs that we haven't exhibited. Zoo rating 82, again, because we only really have, like, 5 exhibits. And not a great deal of research done. Zoo rating isn't an objective, well it is actually 85, but you know that's so low as to not be a problem. Oh, the Herrerasaurus has actually grown up. And everything is good there. Caudipteryx are fine. We have 6 Caudipteryx. The Coelophysis needs to grow up. Lambeosauruses are fine, they're still babies though. Guess happiness 93. Caudipteryx is hatched. Okay. So, once this researches, which is done in 6 days, then we can probably go back to genetic research, but I don't think we actually need to. Yeah, because we've got the Ankylosaurus. Oh, we need the Velociraptor, but that's going to be a bit of a while before we can get it, I suppose. And actually, we don't need the Velociraptor, because he seems perfectly content on his own. Right. Oh, and another thing I will say, as a reward for completing... Well, as a reward for completing Paradise Island, we got the unicorn, as you saw in Breeding Giant Pandas. As a reward for completing Breeding Giant Pandas, we got a reward of the Triceratops, which normally is actually a Zoo Tycoon animal, because obviously you get it as a reward for completing Breeding Giant Pandas, which is a Zoo Tycoon scenario. But with Dinosaur Digs, it becomes Dinosaur Digs animal, even though its favourite tree is still Grass Tree, and which is a Zoo Tycoon tree. But it is listed as Dinosaur Digs. Although actually it is also listed as Zoo Tycoon. I think basically what it's saying is that if you're only able to adopt Zoo Tycoon animals, you can still get it. But it is also a Dinosaur Digs animal, or something like that, I don't know. Right, the Coelophysis has hatched, but it's got to grow up, obviously. and then they can mate and have children. '83 zoo rating, 90 animal happiness, 94 guest happiness. So yeah, if I get a $25,000 grant, then that'll take me over $50,000, and then I can build another exhibit. And of the remaining 4, Ankylosaurus is the simplest. Although I am going to need probably another 2 female Ankylosauruses, assuming they are okay with 1 male and 2 female. The Ankylosaurus requires 18 by 10 squares for 3. And it will also require Savannah, which will be a bit expensive. And it probably makes sense to build it close to the Velociraptor, so let's build it over around here. Right. So we already know that that is 10 squares wide, or at least it should be. So then, for the Ankylosaurus, we're going to need... that is 10. That's 10, 9, 8. So there you go. 95 guest happiness. So that is $25,000, which means I can now build my Ankylosaurus exhibit. It says exhibit 7, but it's really the 6th exhibit because I had to merge 2 exhibits together, so the numbering is all messed up. And put these entrances right next to each other. Actually, let's just do it something like that. That's... No, I don't like that, actually. Put it like that. Right. Flatten the surrounding terrain. There you go. Brilliant. Yeah, so both of these are actually really popular. 316 guests, and we have 4 benefactors. I was rather hoping we'd have more, but I suppose we've only been playing for like 8 months, so give it time. Right, the Lambeosauruses have grown up, and they seem perfectly content with just 1 male and 2 females. They're not saying, I want a mate. No, they're fine. Velociraptor's fine on his own. Coelophysis will be fine when he grows up. Herrerasauruses is fine, although I think I could have actually got away with just the 1. Caudipteryxes are fine, and then that's it. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 exhibits. Brilliant. Now, the Ankylosaurus, as I said, needs to be a bit of savannah. And probably also like sand and dirt and fresh water. Yeah, savannah, fresh water, dirt and sand, yeah. Something like that. Just as a sort of initial exhibit. The Ankylosaurus, this is a male, and we will also get 2 female Ankylosauruses. There you go. Scientist, you can look after the Velociraptors and the Ankylosauruses. So this guy has 75 suitability, too much savannah, not enough fresh water, needs more foliage. Yep, that's fine. And how are you for rocks? I actually had the exact right amount, that's fine. So that's 93 suitability right there. There comes the plane, because it's September 17th. 99 suitability, there you go. Right, save the game. 94 guest happiness. 89 animal happiness, that will increase. 84 zoo rating, that will also increase. Unfortunately, we probably don't have enough money to build another exhibit right now. Next exhibit will probably be... I don't know really, because Allosaurus and Spinosaurus will both require either a pit or the electric fencing. Spinosaurus requires a 100 square exhibit, but I do actually need 2 apparently. So that's going to need to be 20 by 10. Whereas the Allosaurus, I can build a 20 by 10 exhibit, but only for 1. So both of those will need to be 200 squares large. The Apatosaurus you can get away with just 1. And it's probably recommended you build 1 because it's going to be very expensive. But it does need to be 250 squares. So maybe I will build the Apatosaurus exhibit first. Although it will be very expensive. I'm going to need about $50,000 to build it for 1 Apatosaurus. Right, the Ankylosauruses have hatched. We're not researching anything there. No, we're not. And we don't really need genetic research or dinosaur foliage just yet. Scientist training will be done in 14 days, and I think that's probably it, because I can't imagine there's any more dinosaur care to be done. So that will save money, because I won't be spending it all on research. 92 animal happiness, that's really good. Actually, animal happiness wasn't an objective though, is it? No, animal happiness isn't an objective. Zoo rating 85 and guest happiness 90. And an exhibit suitability rating of at least 90 for 12 exhibits. Of which we've currently got 6. Yeah. So, I think other than just having enough money to actually do everything, this is not really a very difficult scenario. I basically just need... Basically, all I need to do now is just raise enough money to build 6 more exhibits, and then we're done. And we've got 2 years and a bit to do it. I didn't think this would be a very difficult scenario, but... yeah. I mean, obviously, you know, I'm not saying we've won, because we certainly haven't. I'm just saying that it's not difficult. It's nothing more than you've done already, really. Although it will be a lot of waiting around, waiting for money to come in, and then just building exhibits like 1 by 1. Yeah, obviously everything's making very good money. Japanese garden is very popular. Yeah, both of the animal houses are, or dinosaur houses technically, very popular. The petting zoo is very popular. Guests are happy. Animals are happy, minus the ones that don't currently have an exhibit. I mean, it would be cheaper to build the Allosaurus exhibit or the Spinosaurus exhibit, but the Apatosaurus might still be an idea to build that. There is not a scientist training 4, of that I am certain, so we can get away with just doing dinosaur care. We're not going to bother with T-Rex, because we'd have to research the T-Rex, then we'd have to build an exhibit for the T-Rex, and it's just a massive pain in the arse. You'd also have to do a load of T-Rex care research, which, you know, it's not worth it. Although the T-Rex is very popular with guests, but we're not going to get a T-Rex. Not in this scenario. In the next scenario, yes, but not this scenario. Yeah, so basically just waiting for about yeah, around about $45,000 into cash, which actually gives me an opportunity to look at finances. So if we look at September as a base, we did make $25,000 in the private donation for 95 guest happiness, so negate that. Although construction costs, call it $5,000, annual purchase, yeah, it's about $10,000, and research is about $12,000. So yeah, we made about $11,000 profit in September. This compost building is actually making $860 a month. Not loads, but you know, it's paid for itself like 6 times over since we built it, because it was only $1,500 to build. And obviously, it makes money throughout the duration of the scenario, and it makes more money the more dinosaurs you have, because the more dinosaurs you have, the more poo you get. So unless you're doing an all-marine animal zoo, always build a compost building. Because unless the scenario is really short and you have barely any animals, it will pay itself over. And many times over. Right. Whilst I'm at it, not actually really doing anything, I will just flatten some terrain and see how, or where am I going to put the Apatosaurus exhibit, because it is going to be absolutely huge. So this is 300 a piece, so I'm going to need it to be 7,500. No, that's 22, 23, 24, 25. So I'm going to need a bit of path there. Oops. I think that's okay. Okay, I actually did it like slightly wrong there. Right, that's fine. So then, yeah, right. That is still 7,500. Yep. So that's 25 by 10. Which means I'm going to need path there, like that. And just to confirm, that is 10 by fiddlesticks. I think we've gone wrong here. That's what's wrong. That is then 10. That is 25. But obviously I don't want that. So, yes, that is good. Right. I'm thinking it might be an idea to get another restaurant over here. It's quite a centralised location. It will attract guests over to this sort of centralised location. Yeah, let's get a restaurant going over here. Probably won't make much money at the moment, but it will bring guests over here, if nothing else. Charge $17 for it. Actually, we won't need as much money. Oh wait, yes we will, because this is rainforest, not deciduous. Yeah, I was thinking we won't need the full amount of money because I was thinking that was deciduous already, but no, it's rainforest. We need deciduous dirt, fresh water, and grass. Which basically means I need to modify all of this terrain. All selected programs have been researched. Brilliant. Okay, so 10% dirt. Right. I'm actually just using the guide for this, in case it isn't abundantly obvious by now. 9, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25. That needs to be made into deciduous if it isn't already, which it should be, really. It's hard to tell because of the path. Because the terrain under the path is obviously different to the terrain surrounding it, so there's a slight colour disfiguration discrepancy. Fresh water 10%, so that's like 5 by 5. And grass 5%, so that is it's 12.5, so it's like 12 squares. That's not right, is it? No, I've done that wrong. Something like that. Right. And obviously I'm going to need the rocks and the trees. Great. I'm basically building the exhibit, but not actually putting in the fencing. Because as soon as I build the fencing, the Apatosaurus is going to be in an exhibit. And then obviously it's going to get really unhappy because the suitability is really low. So build the exhibit, and then build the fencing. It's a bit of a weird way of doing it, but it kind of works at the same time. The only downside is that I'd have no idea like how many trees and rocks to put in, so I'm just sort of having to guess at that. But that seems okay. This fencing is going to be very expensive though. Although not so expensive that I can't afford it. Right, so this is a Apatosaurus exhibit. And we are going to need another scientist. Because this is exhibit 7. Okay, so that's only 81 suitability. Let's save the game. Hopefully this guy doesn't just escape straight away from his exhibit. Too much rainforest, more foliage. Oh, great. Where's the rainforest? I think I see it, actually. Is it that? Right. And, yeah, more foliage. And also, I think... Does this guy want a shelter? I can't... No, I don't think he does, actually, does he? He's not saying that he does. Shelter's probably not big enough for this guy, anyway. It's too big. Right. Bearing in mind we do need, like... Oh, you... absolute toadstool. Yeah, we're going to need at least 90 suitability for all these exhibits, and annoyingly, it's just destroy some trees. Fortunately, he's big and slow, not like the Allosaurus and the Spinosaurus, who can just destroy trees very, 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 very quickly. Still very annoying. Right, that's 99 suitability, that's fine. As long as he doesn't destroy any more of his damn trees. Right, Caudipteryx is giving birth. These Caudipteryxes seem to be breeding a heck of a lot, which is good, as long as the exhibit doesn't get too small for the amount of animals that we have contained within. Then we'll need to sell some off, which I suppose is good because we make money. And unsurprisingly, this restaurant is making a fortune already, and it's attracting guests over to this part of the zoo. So that's what you've got to do as well. Is the more guests you have, the more restaurants you need, because one restaurant isn't enough to satiate the needs of, say, 500 guests. So you build a second restaurant to maintain the guests' happiness and satiate their needs. But you build it far enough away and in a sort of relatively unattractive area, and then that attracts guests over. And because it's quite a centralised location, it means that guests are quite close to loads of stuff in the zoo. It's right next to the animal house, or the dinosaur houses, and it encourages guests to wander over to see the Apatosaurus and the Ankylosaurus, which they're not currently doing right now, so that's not really worked. Right, let's have a look at, well, we're not actually doing anything because we don't have any money. These Caudipteryx, yeah, the exhibit is not big enough. So, male, female, male, female. I don't know if we can get away with, like, one male and just the rest female, maybe? Let's sell off 4 and 5. Right, that's fine. Herrerasaurus is a fine. Coelophysis, he's saying it's fine and he's saying it's fine. So yeah, they're obviously mated. Lambeosaurus are fine. So yeah, you can just get one male and the rest female with the Lambeosaurus. Velociraptor is still fine, he doesn't want a mate, he's fine. Ankylosaurus are fine, although they're still babies. Caudipteryx has just hatched. And Mr. Apatosaurus is fine. And we're coming up for the end of the first year and everything is looking good. We've got 7 exhibits. 85 zoo rating already. 95 guest happiness, 95 animal happiness. Something just came up there. Guests seem to be very happy with your zoo. Yeah. That happens if you've got guest happiness of 90 or higher, which is actually an objective of the scenario. I mean, we don't have loads of scenery, but we don't exactly need it, because the guests are already happy. Velociraptor is ill, that's not good. Where's his designated zookeeper? This guy. He's going over to heal the Velociraptor. So it won't be ill for very long. So then we have 6 benefactors, which is not a lot. Wow, this restaurant is making a fortune. Yeah. Good, good. Yeah, sure, let's set it to all scenery. Let's just see what's available. Mammoth Fountain, Turtle Fountain, Large Volcano, no. Tar Pit. So there's no 5x5 scenery, because the small volcano is still too big. Okay, I'm just going to have to create a double path then, aren't I? Could just get a woolly mammoth fountain and then just surround it by scenery. That's not a bad idea. Or we just build like a turtle fountain and then build a double path. Yeah, let's just do that. And then build some path around and double it up. Get some low hedge fencing as well. There you go. Just makes the zoo look a bit nicer. Yeah, both of these are really popular. The Pteranodon house is slightly more popular. But both are really good. Pteranodon house is more expensive than the Leopard Spondyle. Actually, Leopard Spondyle provides 12-12 as opposed to 10-15. Yeah, it's about the same overall effect. I know people say, like, you know, you're better off just using scenery, animal houses aren't worth it, but I like animal houses. They kind of add an extra touch to the zoo. You can say they're not worth it, they're not cost effective, they take up too much space, take up too much money to research, whatever. But at the end of the day, I like them. They add a bit of variety to the zoo, they give guests more things to do, I suppose. I haven't decided where I want to put the Allosaurus and the Spinosaurus. Although I suppose it makes sense to put one, probably the Allosaurus, over here, since it's mostly rainforest. We can get away with just one, but we do need a 20x10 exhibit. Excuse me. And it's going to be very expensive to build electric fencing. Excuse me. This does look like it's too big, but it is actually apparently the right size. I suppose the Allosaurus is an absolutely gigantic dinosaur. Zoo's low money emergency funding of 10,000. That's very useful. I'd actually completely forgotten about that. Still doesn't give me enough money to actually build the exhibit completely though, but it's obviously very welcome nonetheless. Move the Spinosaurus out of the way, there you go. Excellent. All the most recent notifications are just, guests seem to be very happy with your zoo. Ah, now this is where I need to start getting some maintenance workers. Because this fencing is deteriorating. It's probably not worth it to get staff training just so the maintenance workers are slightly better, because they have to go through tour guides and zookeepers, which is obviously completely useless. But also Caudipteryxes, you know, they have no strength anyway, so they're probably not going to escape unless the fencing gets completely broken. But it's fine now. Obviously 2 maintenance workers won't be enough for the whole zoo, it's just enough right now. I'm going to need foliage and rocks. Right, so the Allosaurus wants rainforest, grass and fresh water, which is obviously not salt water, so then the salt water is going to have to go. And if I make this all rainforest, that actually makes my life a bit easier. Whoops. Okay, so bearing in mind it's a 200 square exhibit, so it wants 40 squares of grass, which I can provide quite easily. That is 16, 32, 41, 40, and then 20 squares of fresh water, which I can also provide easily. There you go. Now obviously I'm going to need rocks and more foliage, and also actually I just realised it probably wants a shelter. Going to need to find somewhere to put that actually. So maybe just destroy this rock. There we go. That bit of the exhibit is then inaccessible. So do something like this. There we go. And then close it up. And this is Allosaurus exhibit, which can be looked after by this scientist. Right, so this is 92 suitability. He's saying it's fine. And actually, I think this bush is actually the recommended foliage for an Allosaurus, according to the scientist. Right, that's 99 suitability. That's fine. No point spending more money than we absolutely have to. Right, the entrance needs to be like over here. And that is very good. Save the game. So we have 8 exhibits now. Yeah, we're going to need probably another maintenance worker. If we can find a bit of broken fencing, that is. Let's just put them there. Right. Yeah, so we've got 8 exhibits, 4 scientists looking after the 8 exhibits, that is very good. 3 maintenance workers, which they can just repair fences as they like. We are going to need Spinosaurus. Actually, we are going to need to research this because we are going to need another Spinosaurus. Yeah, Allosaurus and Velociraptor and Apatosaurus seem perfectly content on their own, but apparently you do actually need 2 Spinosauruses. And these guys seem perfectly content with 2 females and 1 male, which is good. As do the Lambeosauruses. Coelophysis is fine. Parasaurus are fine. And Kylosaurus is ill. Well, we'll just have to get the scientist to look after him. Here he comes. Here he comes. Is it this one? Yeah. Here he comes. And he's healing the animal. Calosaurus is very sick for no longer. Right. We're not actually researching anything here, which is good. Oh, Velociraptor is next, and then I'm guessing it'll be Spinosaurus and then Apatosaurus, but we don't need the Apatosaurus. We don't really need the Velociraptor either. A bit surprised by that, because I thought the Velociraptor might want a mate, but it seems perfectly content on its own. Like I said, it makes my life a bit easier. But the thing is you still want to research it, actually, thinking about it, because if it dies, then you're just going to have an empty exhibit. And I don't know how long dinosaurs live, but it might not be 3 years, even with dinosaur longevity researched, which we do have. Saying that, actually, I think I've played scenarios in the past where dinosaurs have lived a very, very long time. So they do seem to live longer than regular Zoo Tycoon animals, some of which can die after like 18 months. Less than that even, possibly. Jaguar, for some reason, doesn't seem to live very long in Zoo Tycoon. Don't know why. Right, zoo rating 86, that's good. Animal happiness 94. I'm not too bothered about that, because... Well, 95. Because obviously we've still got this guy who's lowering it. And guess happiness 95. Spinosaurus, like I said, we will need... whoops. 20 squares for... Oh, we're researching the Apatosaurus. We don't really want that. We want the Spinosaurus. Oh, alright, we'll just research the Apatosaurus anyway. We don't really have the Spinosaurus, do we? No. I'm not being blind. No, we don't have Spinosaurus. Okay. Well, then, in that case... I will do what I normally do, which is start building the exhibits, and then, and this is going to be very expensive actually, because there's a lot of salt water, unfortunately. Although, saying that, it's got to be coniferous anyway, and there's basically no coniferous anywhere nearby. So, wherever I built the exhibit, it would be very expensive to build. And we can't rely on any emergency donation this time. Right, so Spinosaurus, if you have 2, then Apatosaurus is now available. Great. Ah, there you go, that's Spinosaurus. Right, so if you have 2 Spinosauruses in a 200 square exhibit, which we will have, then they will need... Well, let's just fill it up with coniferous first, and deal with the rest later. Not that we're going to be able to afford it, mind you. So let's save the game. But, yeah, we're going to need 130 coniferous, which will just fill it up originally, 50 grass, 10 dirt, and 10 fresh water. Not difficult, just we don't have any money. That's actually now half coniferous, half saltwater, I believe. Most popular zoo for having 500 guests. Very nice. Fortunately, it gives us no money. Spinosaurus is now available, we don't need the T-Rex, so that's that done. Don't electrocute yourself, you plonker. Do I need another zookeeper? Scientist, even? Yes, I will need another scientist. Okay, well, we'll get him now, and then he can just wander about as he likes. The way that I've built that makes it look like there's actually fencing there and this guy's trapped in, but I assure you that he's not. But unfortunately we will need a lot more money. Your zoo is running low on money, you don't say. I already know that. Yeah, 50 grass squares. And, yeah, 10 dirt and 10 fresh water. That's easy enough. Okay, so obviously we're going to need rocks. Don't know if we need a shelter or not. Doesn't seem like we do, actually. We are going to need some trees. And also, Spinosauruses are, like the Allosaurus, very angry. I just realised I didn't go with electric fencing. Okay. So I'm going to need to change to electric fencing. Which is annoying, because that means that I've spent a lot of money unnecessarily. And it also means I've actually lost a lot of money. Never mind. What was that notification? Your zoo is low on money, your zoo is low on money, guests seem to be happy. Yeah. It's just the usual rubbish. Very good. Obviously we're going to need more foliage, but little things at a time. Right, so I'm not spending any money on research, that's good. Actually, we don't want genetic research, do we? Yeah, so that's fine. Yeah, we are going to need like 7,000. And April 1st just rolled in, which means I've got no money. Right, yeah, we're basically going to need $7,000 to build this bit of fencing. That will then give the Spinosaurus a proper exhibit. I don't think you need a shelter, but we will need another Spinosaurus, because I think this guy will want a mate. So we're probably going to have to wait about 1 month in game time. Let's just check the finances. For March, knock off about 10,000 for recycling benefit. So we still made a massive profit. So minus 18,000 plus about 37,000, or about 38,000. Yeah, probably made about $20,000 in profit, which is actually quite ridiculous. No, that's not right, is it? Right, hang on. Okay, 46. Right. God, I can't think. Yeah, I think it's about 18,000 in profit. Once you get rid of the research, construction costs, add them to the minus 18,000, and then knock off about 10,000 for the recycling stuff. The point is that we are making a lot of money. It's just I don't know how much exactly we are making. Who's looking after the Allosaurus, actually? That's a good point. Allosaurus and Apatosaurus. Oh, yeah, that's okay. Yeah, so basically this Scientist 11 will look after the Spinosaurus, and then once we do that, we just need 3 more exhibits, which can be whatever we want. So we'll just get some cheap and easy dinosaurs. And then that'll be basically the scenario 1. Although obviously we need money. So we've still got just over a year and a half to go. I don't think the scenario is particularly difficult. It's just a lot of waiting around trying to get money, essentially. That's the annoying part of it. Mind you, at least it's not as bad as Dinosaur Island Research Lab itself, where you actually had to wait until you could actually adopt a dinosaur. Even if you had the money, you still had to wait to be able to adopt anything. Okay, so he wants more animals at the same time. It does actually want a shelter. I thought it would, but I wasn't entirely certain. And more foliage. How is he for rocks? He's fine for rocks. Yeah, exactly fine for rocks. Okay, 97 suitability. He doesn't want a mate, he just wants more animals to become happier, apparently. Which is interesting. Right, this guy needs to be assigned to Spinosaurus. Give him some food. I would not want to be that scientist. Spinosauruses are terrifying, as are Allosauruses. And to be honest, even something like the Apatosaurus, slow and docile as it is, it's still so enormous that it would be terrifying. Or the Ankylosaurus, which is basically an armoured tank with 4 legs. Any animal in this game, apart from maybe, well, this scenario, apart from maybe the Caudipteryx, would be absolutely terrifying. And yet I reiterate, as I've stated many a time, guests in this game would rather see a Bengal tiger than a Stegosaurus. Oh, quality animal care, for providing the highest quality care and treatment for your... Ah, yeah, so that's basically for having 98 animal happiness or higher, but you can only get it after like 6 months. It's just that it's taken me this long to get it because my animal happiness has obviously been deteriorated because I've had dinosaurs in crates. Although the animal happiness is only 96 right now, it will fluctuate. So we actually have all the animals in suitable exhibits right now. 98 suitability. Yeah, we'll get a female Spinosaurus. There you go. We'll also actually give them a bit more foliage. Right, so that's 99 suitability. Right. Brilliant. So, it's May 1st, we have no money, but we are making good money, we're making good profit. 95 guest happiness, 96 animal happiness. Yeah, none of the animals are like particularly unhappy or anything like that. Caudipteryx wants a mate. Yeah, so these animals actually do mate up. Which means we need males and females. Okay, so female, male, male, or female, female. Right, so... could just sell this guy off. That'd be the simplest thing to do. Right. Rarosaurus are fine. We're going to need more maintenance workers, because the fences start to deteriorate. It doesn't really matter, as long as it doesn't deteriorate with the Allosaurus, the Spinosaurus, or maybe the Apatosaurus. Because they're the ones that you've really got to be careful that their fencing is fine. Because the Allosaurus and the Spinosaurus will try to escape. Things like the Herrerasaurus, Lambeosaurus, probably don't have to worry. So, yeah, situation report is like the middle of May. Zero rating 87, that's really good. Animal happiness 96, not too bothered about that. Guest happiness 95, that's really good. I guess it is actually probably quite hard to keep animal happiness high when you get stupid dinosaurs trying to electrocute themselves. But fortunately, animal happiness isn't actually a requirement. So yeah, we basically just have, you know, just over 18 months, about, yeah, like 19 months, something like that. 19 and a half months, to essentially just build 3 exhibits. And they can be whatever we want as long as they're dinosaurs. Yeah. 19 months, essentially, to build 3 dinosaur exhibits above 90 suitability rating, and keep the guest happiness above 90 and the zoo rating above 85. And then we've basically done it. So, for the 3 extra exhibits, I reckon we could go for a Plesiosaurus, seeing as there's quite a lot of saltwater around anyway. We could actually go for a Triceratops, seeing as it's like the reward that we got for the last scenario. And then maybe like the Gallimimus, because I think that's quite popular and quite cheap to build, but obviously the options are open to us. You know, we can build basically whatever we want. Interestingly, we've actually got all 4 rainforest dinosaurs. Yeah, the options are open to us. But I think Plesiosaurus makes sense. Triceratops maybe doesn't make as much sense. Although there's quite a bit of sand and dirt here that we could take advantage of. Yeah, yeah, okay. But I will end this part here, seeing as it's quite a good sort of stopping point. Like I say, we've got the initial 9 dinosaurs in suitable exhibits. We're making lots of money. Good zoo rating, good animal happiness, good guest happiness. Yeah, all that's really left to do now is just build 3 more dinosaur exhibits, get enough cash to do them, and just sit and wait for the scenario to end. Obviously I might cut the video short if it looks like it's going to be very boring and all the objectives have been met. But I will say, I will save the game once more. I will say thank you so much for watching. Hope you enjoyed this video. If you have, leave a like, share, comment, subscribe. And I will see you in the next video. Take care folks, have a good day, and bye bye.